I try to avoid that swamp area if it hits nighttime. Like if it's nighttime, I need to go back to Shady Belle. I'm like, I'm going to stay in Saint Denis. I'm going to go play poker all night. I'm not going back to Shady Belle yet. Fuck that. I don't want to deal with these swamp people, dude. But no,
I just picture as Arthur going into a bar, getting a couple drinks, then walking back out, seeing the sun going down, and like, I can do a couple more drinks.
Yep. It's like, I'm not going back to Shady Belle yet. Fuck that. What's going on? Welcome into Loudhearted Gamers, episode 59. My name is Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today. Whatever day you're listening or perhaps watching this podcast at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparky3. If you could, please give us a like. We'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that as well. Be a friend, tell a friend, of course. Be a nice guy or gal. Joining with me, as always, I do have Zach here in the studio. Zach, how you feeling today, my friend?
It's going good. Can't complain. Ready to go?
Feeling better now that Anime Plus 50 is behind us?
I mean, no.
I feel better if it's
feel
behind
like
us.
It should still be thrown in a dumpster.
Josh said the same thing to me earlier, and I'm like, no, I'm not throwing that in the dumpster.
I mean, him and me have different reasons why we want it in a dumpster.
That's fair.
I want it in a dumpster just because of what it is. Josh wants it in a dumpster because of, well, what happened, so.
Josh is on another planet the entire episode. But hey, shout out to 50 episodes of Anime Plus. If you guys listen to this show, you know we just celebrated our 50th episode not long ago. And that's what we just wrapped up doing with Anime Plus. That was the longest podcast episode we've ever done at Sparky 3. That was a 2-hour podcast episode. It will be uploaded here soon. We did have a special guest, our friend Diaz. Hopefully he can be more involved with some other casts in the future. He was a great conversation. Great first cast for him. I really do feel like that.
He had the best one-line in the entire freaking cast.
Not only the entire freaking cast, he probably had the best one-liner in Sparky 3 history. I mean, that was just 10 out of 10.
I don't know. I feel like we have some other ones that are contender, but for just straight one-liners, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 one. So for today's episode, we had the Nintendo Direct. Finally, the Direct happened. Finally happened. Our September Direct that we've been expecting did take place, and it did include some of the things that we've also been anticipating, like a Nintendo Switch Online change, a couple of game announcements. There was one surprise announcement that was leaked beforehand involving a little pink guy. The reveal of a game that we have not seen in like 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was overall solid Direct. A hell of a fucking movie cast. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, too. But with that said, let's go run through some quick plugs here. If you could go follow us on Twitter at LHGamers Podcast. We'd appreciate that follow. You can stay up to date with everything going on in the gaming world. You can also go follow us at Anime Plus at Anime Podcast on Twitter. If you're into anime manga stuff, check out everything going on over there. And I do have my new podcast that just started here recently, A Terrible Football Show. It has some terrible opinions, some really bad takes. I say it's got some bad takes, but I will say Tyler's been on point with some predictions recently.
That's what I got, because I went ahead and listened to episode 3. I don't know anything about football. I really don't. But I'm always curious about our other productions, so I listen to it from time to time. And from what I got from you is just, you're off in your own field, and then Tyler's dead center, right on point, just getting every single thing.
Yeah, no, a couple of predictions he had is he predicted Georgia was going to beat Vandy by 56, I think. I think they won 62-0. He predicted Penn State was going to be like 38-21. It was 38-17. So that man's on it. But it is a bad show, though. I mean, we know it and we embrace that. That's part of the charm.
I mean, the logo's a trash can.
It is a literal hey, shout out to the Twitter banner too, where it's literally just drawn on like Microsoft Paint. All right, we're low production over here. We're having a good time though. And if you want to support us further, the Patreon is a great way to do so. But don't feel obligated. Just be a friend, tell a friend. We can call it good. With that said, hey, let's jump into the rumors. What we got going on for this week? Not a whole lot in the rumor mill this week, not in my opinion. It was kind of a lackluster week for rumors. But I will say there was one rumor that I came across. It's like the initial title where it's like, okay, let's click on this and let's see what it's about, right? And it was a Sonic related one. I'm like, all right, let's see what this is about. It's like Sonic 2022 details, whatever. I'm reading through the stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, that could be legit. That could be legit. And then it gets down to other Sonic projects in the works, and as soon as it got down to that, it just it went from being like a possible legitimate leak that someone was trying to put out there to just hard left field wish list, because it had it had like multiple remasters, it had a Sonic 06 remake, and I'm like, no.
God.
And I was like, no, they're not touching that one. They're gonna leave that one behind.
He's one of the guys who goes to y'all's counseling every couple years.
Yeah. No, as soon as I got down to that part, I'm like, okay, yep. That one just completely went left field. So you see, when I do look for these, I try to find ones that could be legitimate and not something like that. That's the only reason I wanted to talk about that. So the first thing that we have up is apparently there's 2 brand new Minecraft games in the works. That is likely. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they've come out with what, Dungeons, and what was the other one that they came out with besides just the base game? I don't remember.
As far as I was aware, it was Dungeons, and then there was the Minecraft story mode, which was the Telltale.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, there's those 2, and then there's, of course, just the base game. So if there is 2 more brand new, air quotes, Minecraft games in the works, I mean, that would make sense. It's literally the highest grossing game of all time,
Minecraft with polygons.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So next little piece of rumor mill here, which this one, this is not just like someone randomly throwing this out into the universe, you know, just trying to get some clicks. This actually comes from a Nintendo insider, Emily Rogers, who's gotten a lot of stuff right in the past. She said that she has heard some rumors recently that Nintendo could release Metroid Prime 1 remaster by itself and not in this fabled trilogy that we've heard about for, you know, 3 years. So if that, and it's set to come out sometime next year as well, Metroid Prime 1 remaster on the Switch. I mean, whatever Metroid Prime they do, I'm picking it up because I love the Metroid Prime games, but that would just be kind of weird to me to only have the first one come over and leave the second and third one behind.
I mean, maybe a test the waters thing, because I mean, we have Dread right now coming out that people are hyped about, then maybe retest the waters with a 3D.
That's true. Retest the waters, see the hype levels as we're getting maybe closer to a Prime 4 reveal.
Which is not a bad thing when you consider like the whole Crash Bandicoot thing.
Yeah.
Because we got the Crash Insane trilogy, which sold phenomenally, did a lot better than what anyone expected, and then they came and released 4. And I mean, it didn't do terrible, but it didn't do nearly as the Insane trilogy. So there was sort of there was a Crash following, but not entirely enough for a full new game.
Right. Next thing we have here in the rumor mill, which this one seems to have been leaked. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Edition was leaked. I believe it was on Best Buy, if I remember correctly. The leak detailed like 60 FPS for Series PC and PS5, ray tracing, new areas, enemies, cutscenes, and the actual leak picture I saw, I believe, was a Best Buy page. So I mean, if that's going to happen, I did see in the leak that it's going to be potentially revealed at that Tokyo Game Show, which should be like
it's not that far away now.
Yeah, it should be like really soon. I don't remember when, but it's coming up soon. And talking about leaks here, we did get one leak that someone came across involving the Windows Store on PC. So there was a massive list of games that was leaked that's set to be coming for the Windows Store. The way they found it is that like they went in somewhere into the Windows Store and they were able to find all of these where it's like, you know, set to install or something, and it's been taken down since. So that kind of gives some credibility to it. But to my understanding from what people are saying, the reason why this is probably going to happen with this amount of games is because apparently for the Windows Store, they have cut the profits from 30% going to them to 12% going to them. So
damn.
Yeah, so the devs are making a shit ton more money.
I mean, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like the list of games we've got, it's like Borderlands 3, The Destroy All Humans 2, Valhalla, The Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Saints Row, Outcast 2, Elden Ring, Tales of Arise, Red Dead 2 was on there, Hitman 3, Farming Simulator, John's favorite game. Let's see, Mortal Kombat 11, Far Cry 6. I mean, dude, it's literally a massive list of games. So, I mean, it wouldn't... So, and apparently it's going to be coming out around when Windows 11 drops, which, again, they missed the perfect opportunity of 11.11. They missed that opportunity. That's coming out sometime next month. Windows 11 will be dropping for a free download if you currently have Windows 10. So when that happens sometime after that, we should be seeing most of these games come to the Windows Store. If people use the Windows Store, I don't know how many people do. I personally don't.
I mean, I never did because there's not really jack on it. But
yeah,
if it actually starts getting a slew of developers putting stuff on it, I mean, it might become a competing store along with Epic and Steam.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with that cut.
Yeah.
The developers making a big cut on that. But we also don't know if that's like a temporary thing or if it's just like, to get people in or if that's permanent. We have no idea. But either way, just keep an eye on that for when Windows 11 does come out in October. Let's go over to some quick news. So let's talk about some Pokemon Unite for a few minutes here. So there was some more recent data mining. Shout out to the fact that in the data mining, Greedent is still in there. He was not taken out or anything. He has not been revealed yet, but he's still in the data mining, so he should still be coming at some point. Squovet and Greedent, and I'm ready for my fat squirrel. We did get a release date for Mamoswine coming out on the 29th. Still no word.
Okay.
Still no word on when Sylveon's coming out, but
I mean, I'm glad we're gonna get that thick Mamoswine.
I am too. Let's get it, man. His moveset looks fun as shit. I'm ready to run some people over and throw them up with my tusks. Looks fantastic. So looking forward to playing that next week, and we'll probably be talking about it on the next podcast episode. But there was some other data mining that was interesting. Like one thing involving Sylveon, for example, is that it was data mined that Eevee is going to be playable. So it's going to go from Eevee to Sylveon. That was kind of shocking to me, because I feel like, if you look at the evolutions lines that we have in the game, anyone that has like a special evolution that was outside of normal means, for the most part, they don't have that pre-evolution. I think Blissey was like the only exception. I could be wrong, but I think everyone else was via level, like in Pokemon games, was just via normal level up. So like there's no Riolu, for example, for Lucario, just to give one example there. But yeah, Eevee will be playable up to Sylveon. So that makes me wonder, is like Sylveon going to be the only evolution that's going to potentially be in this game, or are we going to get more Eevees, or how is that going to work? You know what I mean?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It makes me almost think that, which would be a shame if they did this, if instead of getting multiple evolutions as playable characters, they become skins.
Yeah, see, and I would hate that as well, because I would love to see some of the other evolutions. So seeing that Eevee, and I've seen the actual, like when I say Eevee's been data mined, like I've seen the actual pictures of Eevee too. Like this isn't just like, oh, look, there's Eevee's name. No, I've seen legitimate pictures and like the move choices. Like Eevee's a thing. So you're right. It just does, like what are we gonna do for other evolutions? Because I figured, with Eevee being like a secondary mascot for Pokemon, you would expect an evolution to come into the game eventually. But I thought they were just gonna be standalone characters. Each one, there's no pre-evolutions.
I mean, either that or they're going to release more evolutions, and you can literally just have a team of just Eevees.
Jesus Christ. I feel like that's going to be such a pain, like to decipher. Now, which one is this one? Which one is that one? Like, which one am I killing right now?
Until they hit like level 5 or 6 and all of them evolve.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, also, there was another data mine for another new Mon that seems to be confirmed of Nickit and Thievul. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that's a Gen 8 Fox that no one really used. They did look cool. But Nickit and Thievul seems to be some next characters that's going to be coming to Unite. With those, I would probably suspect potentially a speedster class for that. Thievul's got a pretty good base speed of, I believe, 90. Could be wrong on that. Could be very wrong on that. But I want to say Thievul is pretty quick. So I would probably guess a speedster class for him. But that is kind of interesting that Thievul is going to be the one that they choose. I say that, but then we have Cramorant, which I love Cram. I love the Cram gun. Love that little dumb bird. But their Pokemon choices are very interesting.
I mean, they have such a large cast to choose from. I mean, why not just choose the ones that they just feel like? I mean, because I don't know how many people knew what Cramorant was or even cared about Cramorant.
That's very true, because Cramorant's worthless.
Yeah, then now people play Cramorant United like, okay, I sort of like Cramorant.
Yeah, Cramorant's a cool little dude. And that's kind of how I think people are going to feel with Greedent too. Is they're just like, oh, okay, Greedent's actually pretty dope. I love that fucking fat squirrel so damn much. I'm ready for it. But let's talk about something else with Unite, because right now Unite's in a very interesting place. With it being really trying to put its foot in the door in the MOBA space. We just reported last week they've passed 9 million downloads, and the mobile version hasn't even come out yet. Mobile version is out now, which also shout out to the fact for the mobile version. I did see some people do this on Twitter. If you play it on like your iPad or your Android tablet, you can attach your keyboard to it. You can play this thing like a normal MOBA. That's pretty cool. I would love to try that. But anyway, so, they're really trying to continue to get themselves out there within these, first 3 months of release now. And of course, as all games do, there's some bugs. But, recently there's some pretty big bugs that they're not addressing at the moment. They've said they're going to address it in this upcoming patch. But right now there's a bug for, Crustle, where the Crustle could potentially, get his ult 8 times in a 10-minute match. There's a a terrible bug for Lucario that is worse than Crustle, where he can literally OHKO people.
He becomes One Punch Man.
Yes, he becomes One Punch Man. It was Power Up Punch, and I think Extreme Speed. I think they're the ones that are jacked up right now. But he can literally OHKO someone, and all they've said is that, hey, we're addressing Crustle on Wednesday. They haven't even said anything about Lucario yet. But it's just like they're not even disabling them. Like, disable the Mons, in ranked. I don't know. I feel like this is putting a bad spot on Unite right now, and it kind of puts it in my mind like, is this always going to be how you're going to handle these in the future as you continue to grow? I know we're only 3 months in, okay? But like as we continue to grow and we get further, like a year in, 2 years in, and you want to continue to try to push this and maybe have like your esports scene or whatever, is this how we're going to handle things? And if that's the case, like, Zach, in your opinion, do you think that's going to potentially just make the game fail and put the game in a sour taste, obviously, in people's mouths because they're not addressing something that needs to be addressed, and just disable the Mons and rank? That's all you need to do.
I mean, it very much could, but I mean, to be fair, the developer of this is, their usual thing is mobile games, and not sort of really into this MOBA live service game, so it is a bit of a different aspect on helping it, where mobiles, they can just be like, oh, there's a glitch, we can address it here in time. It's not that terrible of a thing. I mean, some people abuse it for the time, but that's all right. But for something like MOBA, it's very much more of for a player base that's constantly active in games and whatnot, to address it as soon as possible,
right?
Whether disabling it, as you said, or just killing it in ranked or whatnot, or even just doing a hard or a quick patch up live service patch as soon as possible. So I mean, we'll see how this one goes and see how the next one goes and see if they respond the same way, and whether they are going to learn from this one or whether it's going to keep acting like it is a mobile live service game versus a live service MOBA.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's true. That is very true. You're right. You're totally right in terms of like, this is kind of a new realm for them. But man, I hope they get it addressed quick. I would like to see, like maybe a tweet tomorrow or Monday morning, hey, we disabled these. But at the same time, the studio's probably looking at it like, it's just a couple days until Wednesday. It'll be fine.
I mean, and it could be fine because like when I think back of like old time League of Legends, there were so many bugs and glitches that were so stupid, and like they wouldn't get addressed for like weeks at a time, and people would just abuse the crap out of them. But now, when people want to leave, a glitch is found, just immediate cut, chop, fix, put back up.
One day they'll get there too for Unite. I hope so. Unite's fun. Unite's a lot of fun. I would love to see this game succeed. Moving over from there, so Best Buy. Best Buy actually sold PS5 and Xbox Series in stores this past week.
Woo!
I saw a lot of fucking lines for that, as expected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw one person tweet out where it's just like, "Yep, I stood in line for 14 hours, but I got my PS5," and I'm like, I mean, all right, cool. Shout out for you. But hey, shout out to the fact that we're finally getting to that point. But it also kind of raises the question for me: is it just because they have stock at the moment, or have they just like? Because I know initially when it was launched, stores chose not to sell it in stores because of COVID. So now that this is happening, is like, okay, have you actually had the stock all along, or what? Like, I'm kind of confused by that.
It's quite possible, but unless we get someone who knew beforehand, we probably won't get an answer.
Yeah, true. But hopefully you were able to grab a PS5 or an Xbox Series. I am still on the hunt for my Xbox Series X.
But you know what is coming out here, which is in the works?
What?
The Xbox Series X mini fridge.
That is true. We're supposed to get more details on that mini fridge soon.
Yep.
I could use a mini fridge in my office, so may have to look into that Xbox Series X mini fridge.
It's pretty funny that joke came full circle after Xbox managed to beat Skittles in a Twitter contest.
Yep. But hopefully you were able to grab one. If not, hopefully you're able to get one in the near future. I will be on the lookout in our local area and see if I spot any in stores. The only thing I've spotted in stores was one Xbox Series S at a Walmart. That's the only thing I've spotted up until now. So we'll see if I start spotting some other stuff in stores. Quick little follow up here on something that we've talked about a handful of times in the past involving this Apple and Epic lawsuit. It was settled here recently. I don't remember the exact settlement on everything, but I do know I do know for a lot of people's pleasure, both companies essentially get fucked in this.
Yep.
Like, I mean, but I don't remember the exact details. That's my fault. I'm a great host of the show. But the most recent thing is that I've seen is that Apple has blacklisted Fortnite on the App Store for 5 years. So, I mean, if you're one of the people that like to play Fortnite on your iPhone, I mean, sucks to suck, I guess. But, I mean, it's what it is.
They have plenty of knockoffs on it.
Yeah,
Store,
yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Last piece of news that we got for this week that I wanted to talk about was involving Titanfall 3. You know, we did have the Titanfall 3 thing in the NVIDIA data mine that we did talk about last week. And that was one of the games where it's like, I could see them doing that. But at the same time, they're kind of focused on Apex. So we don't know if that was a thing they're going to try to do or not. Well, there were some reports that a Titanfall 3 was not in the works at all. It was funny. I did see from good old Jeff Grubb, we've mentioned his name before. He tweeted out that in one of his Discord servers that he put in there that he said from what he understands, Titanfall is no longer, in his exact words, the core of Respawn's DNA anymore. That's the way that he put it. And then Respawn responded with the tweet saying, because of recent reports where people have been saying that Titanfall is no longer the core of our DNA, Titanfall is still very much the core of our DNA, and you never know what could come.
I mean, Apex is literally a spin-off of Titanfall.
Exactly. And as soon as that came out, Jeff retweeted it. He's just like, okay, so I have a rat in my Discord server. But, when Respawn addressed Titanfall 3, it's like you never know what the future may hold. It obviously brought a lot of excitement for the possibilities. Realistically speaking, I would safely assume a Titanfall 3 will happen at some point. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to Titanfall had an excellent launch. It was an excellent game. A lot of fond memories on that game. Titanfall 2, however, phenomenal game, but unfortunately it was overshadowed by the other FPS games that launched at the same time. I don't remember what they were. I know one was obviously just Call of Duty. I think the other one may have been a Battlefield game, but I could be wrong on that. But there was 2 shooters that launched alongside of it. And Titanfall 2 just got shafted because of it, even though Titanfall 2 was the best out of the 3. Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game. The community is not that large right now. It's really not. But if you have the chance to play, I definitely recommend going and giving it a shot. So I would hope for a Titanfall 3. I think it could be an absolute success of a game, especially depending on the launch. But I would think realistically it would happen at some point. I don't know, man. You're a big Apex player. Do you think a Titanfall 3 could happen, or do you think the popularity for Apex and just the success for that is just going to make them not want to even attempt it?
I mean, I could only see them working on a sort of a back burner. I mean, right now for Respawn, with several interviews that have happened, that they're very much focusing on Apex at this time. I would not put it past them, though, if they had a small team that maybe working on assets for a possible Titanfall 3 or messing with things that they may consider just off in the wings with free time.
Right.
But I don't think it could be a current progressing project at this time. But I could definitely see them as being one of those things that they are still moderately working on and messing with things for on the back burners, even with their focus on Apex. Yeah,
focus on Apex and other projects they've been working on. Because we do know they are working on more of those Star Wars games. That's already confirmed as well. So I like I said, I think Titanfall 3 is realistically going to happen, but I do agree with you. It's on the lower end of their priority list, but I do think it'll happen eventually. All right, let's jump over to some of our talking points for the week. We do have that Nintendo Direct that we're going to talk about, but let's first talk about some shit that we've kind of been doing recently. So Zach, you picked up Nexomon recently, got ported over to Switch. How are you enjoying that? Well,
first off, it was ported on actually all consoles because I'm actually playing it on the Xbox One currently.
Okay.
I mean, I've been having fun with it. It's a good port. It's a Pocket Monster game, which is very aware of its universe. You have a silent character, but you have a little robot companion who comes with you at all times, who very much addresses the weird things that characters are doing and don't really make sense.
Okay.
There's a whole fight after fighting one of the overseers, who are essentially your trainers or gym leaders in this, and you go into a fight, and after the fight, the boss sort of just like, it's really weird how everything's just settled with a Nexomon battle.
That is true. That's the same thing with Pokemon. Everything is settled with that. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! And duels.
Yes. So it's very comical, and just how it's the art stuff and everything is done very well. It looks very nice. The music's enjoyable when just roaming around. Out of Pokemonsters games, this is probably one of the few where I feel like I could easily actually acquire the entire database of creatures,
right?
Versus things like Pokemon where there's always a workaround if you really want to collect everything,
like different games and shit.
Yeah, or having to do a mystery trading crap like that.
Oh yeah,
and all that fun stuff. And I don't even have to mess with all that freaking shiny crap.
Oh, okay. So there's not any sort of alternate forms like that in the game?
No.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, no, it's just strictly, this is the database, because this is actually the first game in a series, because back in May or so, if I'm remembering correctly.
Extinction came out, right?
Yeah, Nexomon Extinction, which is actually the second game from it, and actually takes place in the same world, like 20 years later or something like that. And it's very funny. That one's very self-aware too. Instead of having a little robot companion, you have a little... it never addresses what he is, but he's like this furry creature thing that follows you around. Because they're a race of people, but it never addresses what his race is and everything. And he's even more self-aware. And
are we like when it comes to all the self-aware stuff, like is it just like is there any fourth wall breaks?
I have not seen any strict fourth wall breaks, but it's always stuff that's right there at the edge of just going, this really doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this? Or even think like in, I haven't seen it in the Nexomon, but in Extinction, there's a moment where the little companion's just like, you're about to have to fight something, aren't you? Because you just walk into a room and he sort of looks around and he's just like, there's about to be a battle, isn't there? Because the game is very self-aware. It doesn't take itself too seriously and all this stuff. And then I was almost disappointed initially when Nexomon, because the initial sort of set of creatures you can catch in the starting area, none of them have evolution forms. They're all just standard. This is it. This is what they are. And I was I was slightly concerned. I was like, God, I hope this is, because one of the best things about Pokemon is leveling up and actually seeing the evolutions.
Yeah.
But once I got to the second and third area, finally I started getting a bunch that have like 2 or 3 evolutions. So I was like, all right, here we go.
Doesn't this game also offer like a shit ton of like starter choices? Like it's not 3, because I think Extinction did. Is the first one the same way?
The first one, it is you get a choice of 6 starters, 1 for each element in the game.
What are the elements? I love me some elements.
You got normal, fire, water, plant.
Hell yeah.
Stone and wind in the first one.
Turn up for plant. I love my grass holes.
Yeah. And then in Extinction, it's 8 because they add in dark and psychic.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, there's, when you get a starter, you get to choose whatever element you want to start with. In which, from both games, what I've seen is if you want to start with fire, you're just going to tear through like the first area. And their XP does not scale how it should.
Oh.
So you can take your starter and the first set of brush that you start, and you could easily level it. If you're willing to take the time, you can easily level it up to level 30 before even leaving that.
In the first area?
In the first area.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because the XP does not decrease by a whole lot.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely some scaling issues.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the game doesn't take itself too seriously, so I mean, even if you do that, it doesn't break the game really at all. I mean, you'll finish some of the boss fights in like a couple hits per each other Nexomon, but I mean, that's not too big of an issue. It's very much a Pokemon monster of, there's this whole story here, but then here's all this grass area where you can just catch a bunch of weird stuff.
Right.
Because, and I do enjoy the creature designs as well. They're very entertaining to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like Gen 7 designs, which get really weird and very just simple. It's more, I would think, like Gen 5 or 6, where it was still...
Well, Gen 5 had some bad ones, too. I mean, we had a literal pile of trash, but we had some good ones in Gen 5.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, there's some bad ones in there.
Yeah.
It's more or less a thing of, I mean, yeah, that's interesting, but then there's less... Why?
Right. Like how in Gen 5, there's the Snow Cone,
Yes.
Vanillux.
Yes.
There's Chandelure, which Chandelure is a really good Pokemon. Garbodor, of course, the pile of trash. So Gen 5, they really took a left turn in creativity.
Like one of the fire types I've gotten, it's literally just 2 flamingos. One's like this first level of it's just a very small flamingo about this, and then when it levels up, it just becomes taller.
No, the real design difference.
Correct.
What the fuck? That's so stupid, but I love that.
Yeah. They're all very simple like that. And it's just very opportune. The game is very aware. So the main enemy is a Nexolord who you're trying to stop his plans, and he has a group of pretty much Team Rocket minions.
Right.
But they're just called minions.
Okay.
They have no other title than minion.
All right, that's pretty basic.
And there's this one poor minion who he's your very first person you fight, because how you get your first starter is he's attacking your friend trying to steal something she has, and you sort of push him out of the way, and he drops his briefcase, and you literally the briefcase has the 6 starters, and you literally just steal a Nexomon from him. You steal a Nexomon from him to fight him, and he's just like, hey, give that back, that's mine. I was like, you were stealing, I can steal.
It's like, that's fair. Come on.
He's like, you're not going to beat me with my own Nexomon. Then you beat him. And
damn, you beat me with my own Nexomon.
Yes. And then the Nexolord comes out because for some reason he was visiting your parents because they're scientists.
Ooh.
And I forget exactly what happens, but there's an explosion of some sort. And the poor minion gets sent away like Team Rocket.
Oh, okay.
And it does a whole line. It does a whole skyline, sees him flying, it's just a star. And this poor guy, it happens on several occasions. He keeps popping up. You keep fighting him where he lands. He keeps popping up. It's like, I'm going to get my revenge this time. Then you beat him, and then something happens. Like the second time you see him, you're fighting him, and you beat him, and he's just like, gosh dang it, now I'm going to have to be serious about this. And for some reason, a group of Power Rangers show up.
Power Rangers?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't say they're Power Rangers, but they say they're
Power Rangers.
Yeah, they're Power Rangers. Okay. They're different colored in those Sentai uniforms of Rangers, and they're just like, we're here to help with violence.
What is this, Ranger Reject? Shout out to the manga.
And they literally, the guy's just like, what? He's like, you're a villain. You can either walk away and surrender and give back what you've stolen, or we're going to beat the crap out of you. He's just like, you're good guys. You'd never, boom, knock him in the air and pertain to combo him and just beat him into the ground.
Gee, what the fuck is this game?
I mean, it's a monster tamer, but it doesn't take itself seriously in any form or fashion.
I've wanted to play Nexomon because when Extinction came out, it caught my eye. So maybe I'll finally get around to picking this one up, so I can start with the first one and work my way up to Extinction.
I mean, they're both entertaining. You can pick up either one because I have both of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, they loosely connect to each other, but it doesn't really matter if you know the story of the other one.
Right.
So overall, I've been enjoying it, and as I said, this is actually the first one, and this was a port. So it's on PC and all consoles now. I believe the original Nexomon came back out in like 2018 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, I think Extinction came out, I want to say March, May area, but it may have been like...
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
I got you. I may have to give it a look. Nexomon is something that's kind of caught my eye before, but the way you've talked about it makes me want to play it more.
I mean, they're both very entertaining games just because of how it works. Like it makes, like whenever anything happens, you're just sort of like, I'm really unsure where the story's going. Like just an insert from Extinction. There's a guy who literally fist fights a dragon. He doesn't use any Nexomon. Okay. He fist fights a dragon. Yeah,
that's a fucking Chad.
He literally beats the dragon and goes, this thing's too weak. Hey, kid, I know you need training, so get your Nexomon. This thing's weak. Beat it with your Nexomon. After you literally just see him drag it from the sky and pretty much pile drive the sucker. It's just like, it's not a worthy challenger. Kid, get over here.
Yeah, a dragon wasn't a worthy challenger, so let me beat up a fucking child. We do not condone child violence on this show.
He doesn't fight the child. He has the child fight it with his Nexomon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's
ridiculous.
very entertaining. And I mean, for a game that came out in 2018, it's still very good.
Yeah. Speaking of games coming out in 2018, I'm currently on my my third playthrough right now of Red Dead Redemption 2. I love replaying this game. You know, obviously this is my third time because like I continue to find more stuff each time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's really cool about it. Because like now it's just like I already know the story. The story is great because it's like the first time I played it, I did a lot of exploring, but it's like I'm so addicted to the story and where it was going to go that I feel like I kind of rushed through the story in the game. I say that, but I still dumped like 40 something hours into my first playthrough. But I don't feel like I spent enough time like really seeing everything in the world, and that's what I've done more in my second and third. But I know one thing that I countered on my third playthrough here that I did not fucking know about that really scared the shit out of me. So this was early in the game when you were still at Horseshoe Overlook chapter 2, and I'm going to collect debts and stuff, right? So I'm going to collect one of the debts from the guy he like runs away from you. You have to chase him down, and you know if you kill him, you still happen to find out where the debt is. Because this time he actually died for me. He got hit by a train. He got hit by a train.
Oh damn! I guess Dutch. I'm not collecting that one.
Yeah, you know, as soon as the thing is like the game registered it as if I killed him because he gets hit by the train, and then Arthur's like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, but I didn't do anything.
You chased him in front of that train, Arthur. You know what you did.
I guess, man. But, you know, you find a map on him showing where the debt is. And it's the one where the debt's in the tree, whatever. So I go get the debt out of the tree, okay? And right there beside this debt area, there's this abandoned house. And I've always known about the abandoned house in my first playthrough. The house is creepy as fuck. You know the house I'm talking about. Creepy as hell. You know, the doors are broken off. It's old. It's abandoned. There's dead bodies all in there. It's like a cult ritual type of thing that transpired. Almost looks like it kind of looks like a classroom in a way with how the desk, like there's one desk towards the front of the room with you know, dead body. There's notes and that stuff there. You know, I've always known about it. It's always been fucking really creepy. But I didn't know really what it was about. I never bothered to look into it. So I walk in there, you know, because I'm just like, I know there's a couple like tonics in here or something. So I'll grab those real quick. It's the middle of the night in my game. So I walk in there, not thinking anything different's going to happen than normal. Just going to grab the shit, and all of a sudden the room starts glowing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just like the whole room is like glowing green. And I'm like, am I about to die? What is going on? I look up, there's the fucking UFO.
Yeah, the UFO house.
I didn't know that. I'm like, I knew UFOs was in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay, yeah, UFOs are in the game. But I never have actually seen where they are. I never cared to go find them. It's like, okay, yeah, they're in the game. Cool. Whatever. Moving on, I'm going to go do this instead.
I mean, it's one of those things where after all these years where all this information is out and you can easily look it up, and it's still nice that there is people who just, they're aware it's a thing, but never bothered to see where it is.
Me.
And still get to experience it like it was the first time ever.
Yep. Me, man. And you know, it's funny enough because I did find the map for the other UFO.
Okay.
Which that was also first. Because one of my favorite things about this game is just like when you're going one area to the other, always keep an eye on your radar. Because some of the most interesting things about the game is whenever you just see a random dead body on your radar that obviously you did not do. So it's just like, oh, what's that? There's a dead body because it just marks the X. So I'm going up to Coulter. The snow camp at the beginning of the game, because I'm going to kill Falco Hernandez for the pictures, whatever. And I figured, hey, you know, just for the achievement to get later, go ahead and see Jenny's grave and Davy's grave, so I can go ahead and get those done. So I'm going up there, and I'll see an X on the map. I'm like, oh, what's that? That's weird. I didn't know that was there. So I go over through the snow and find a couple that are like leaning up into that froze to death up in the mountains, and they're holding a map. And I was like, and the map was just like, it looked like some stars instead of mountain. I didn't know it. I just Googled it. It's for the other UFO. It tells you where it's going to be. It's like, that was really cool. That same trip, once I finished killing Falco, I came down and I just found a random house on the side of the road. I'm like, let's go in here. Let's go rob some people, I guess. See what we got going on in there. Go into the house, find 2 fucking dead kids. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? And I found a note in the drawer from their mom where the mom's just like, you know, name or whatever. It's like, I'm going to find the men that stole our money. I boarded up the house and everything. There's enough food for 4 days. I should be back tomorrow. Well, safe to assume that she did not come back because these two kids are dead. Every piece of food in the house is open. I'm just like, damn, this is fucking dark. Yeah, it's some place right outside Valentine. I never knew about it. But no, that's the cool thing about just replaying this game is, like you said, continue to find more stuff that you just didn't know about before.
And like, it's funny, the thing with the whole that guy being killed by a train.
Yes.
And just the fact how well Rockstar coded the game, just it immediately went, well, he died, so it's your fault, author.
Yep.
And just because, like, I saw an article this week about how somebody found a new way to release Micah, and in which it was just really just showing off how well Rockstar coded the game, because apparently it was never really sawn or announced that whenever to release Micah, apparently the main consensus of people is to go get the crane and break the wall and turn it into a shootout. And apparently, I'm pretty sure someone else had done it, but never made a video or anything. But this person just happened to go, pulls out his gun, shoots the sheriff in the head, and takes the keys.
Had no idea you could do that.
Yeah, and just releases Micah that way. Doesn't end up in a full-blown shootout until much later in the mission if Micah gets spotted in this town. And the game just goes, sheriff's dead, Micah's released. And just carries on with this whole mission of just letting Micah kills the other prisoner. Micah walks out. You guys walk out of the jail and just keep going.
Yeah, see, I never knew that was a thing until you told me. I wish I would have known that. You know, I didn't fucking collect a massive bounty in Strawberry. Thanks, Micah, you piece of shit. Fuck that guy. No, but I mean, right now I'm currently at Clemens Point, Chapter 3, which is one of my favorite chapters in the game. All the road stuff with the Greys and the Braithwaites. Love that chapter. And man, I love this game so much. This game is so phenomenal. And just seeing certain things, it's just like, now that you fully know everything that transpired, it just makes me look back on like my first playthrough and just like didn't really think about certain aspects that they took of like, okay, I see what they're meaning there. Because like, one thing that I didn't really bother to think about until my second playthrough, for example, is when you go first meet Thomas Downs to collect money from him. Mm-hmm. After you finish that debt mission where you beat him up in his farm, in his garden, whatever, it actually takes a cutscene of Arthur riding back to camp instead of you just leaving like the other debts. Mm-hmm. When you play through the game the first time and you have no idea what happens, like that doesn't really stick out to you. You're just like, okay, whatever, cool, I'll get a fast way back to camp. I don't have to ride back. But once you know everything that happens and you play it the second time and you see that again, you're like, oh shit, that's some big ass foreshadowing of how important these characters are. And it's the same thing of whenever you have to go collect the debt. After Thomas Downs passes, because it's right after you rob the Valentine Bank later on once you're at Clemens Point, and it's the same thing. You get a cutscene riding back, and it's just like, damn, that is some beautiful foreshadowing that they did there. Because if it's your first time playing, you have no idea what's coming. Yeah. So just everything about the game, man, it's so beautifully written. All the creepy stuff in the world is just so fascinating. I found another one just playing earlier today at some random little shack outside of Rhodes. Just kind of popped in because I was riding up on it. Popped up on the radar for a gun to be picked up, behind the house. I'm like, oh, that's kind of random. Is it a good gun? No, it wasn't. It's just a fucking cattleman revolver. I don't give a shit. And I go back behind there. There's a fucking woman on the ground, shot in the fucking head, corpse, falling apart. I'm like, the fuck? Okay. So I go into the house and there's like 3 more people murdered across the house. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. All right. I mean, so that it's just stuff like that, that's super cool. And then just all the other creepy stuff that you can find throughout the game. Love these games, dude. Love these games.
Yeah. I mean, Red Dead was always good with that stuff. Like one of the ones that I always still remember is, I forget which town it is, but when you go past the basement window of one of the general stores and some guy sort of yells at you.
Yes.
And it's the kid. It's the guy in the sailor suit underneath, and you sort of have to either break in or force your way into the basement to either set this kid free or just go like, fuck it, have your kinky shit. Yeah. No, I went in there and I just held a gun to the dude's head. I'm like, take me down to the basement. Because that's fucking creepy. Yeah. The Braithwaite sister. Do you know about? Yeah, that one's fucking really disturbing. That is a disturbing thing with the Braithwaite sister. And then I haven't even gotten to some of the really disturbing stuff yet.
The really disturbing stuff is when you get over to Shady Bell and then you get up to the last camp for the game in chapter 6. I don't remember the name of the camp, where up in that area with that camp for chapter 6. That's when you're dealing with all like the Skinners and everything. That's a creepy fucking area, because like, I know there's one random encounter you can find where you just walk into like a fucking massacre of people, and there's one guy left alive, and if you look close, they skin the top of his head. His face has been basically completely ripped off, and you can actually get some honor points by just putting him out as a misery mercy kill. But then like when you get to Shady Bell, which is my next chapter, chapter 4, dude, those fucking swamp people are creepy as hell. I hate going through the swamps. I hate going through the swamps because, you know, so as we may have mentioned on this show before, I know we've mentioned Anime Plus, I am horribly terrified of spiders. Okay. That's in terms of like any sort of animals or insects, spiders is my number one. But I'm also really afraid of like alligators and crocodiles. That's a fucking dinosaur in real life. Okay. What? That's a dinosaur. You can't convince me otherwise. So when you're in Shady Bell, I am constantly like clicking my eagle eye. I'm like, okay, there are crocodiles around here. I don't want to attack my horse. I don't want to get jumped by a crocodile because they're everywhere. But also those swamp people are fucking creepy, dude. Because like there's so many random encounters where it's like you'll find like a woman crying, and like Arthur will go like, ma'am, do you need help? And all of a sudden you just get swarmed by like 15 swamp people that you need to kill. They have like their own like way of communicating with each other. That shit's fucking creepy, dude. I try to avoid that swamp area if it hits nighttime. Like if it's nighttime, I need to go back to Shady Bell. I'm like, I'm going to stay in Saint Denis. I'm going to go play poker all night. I'm not going back to Shady Bell yet. Fuck that. I don't want to deal with these swamp people, dude. But no,
I just picture as Arthur going into a bar, getting a couple drinks, then walking back out, seeing the sun going down, and like, I can do a couple more drinks.
Yep. It's like, I'm not going back to Shady Bell yet. Fuck that. Don't want to deal with that. Last little tidbit on Red Dead that I want to plug here before we move on to the Nintendo Direct stuff. There was a video that I came across recently. It's a tribute video, and I've watched this thing almost fucking daily since I found it. It's called Arthur Morgan Redemption. I can't remember the name of the channel that it's from, but if you look it up, the thumbnail is going to be Arthur with the two sides of honor and dishonor behind him with the deer and the wolf. Give that video a watch. It depicts this game in such a beautiful fashion, and the choice of timing of scenes and the words that are being said. Because I know like a majority of the video, like there's tidbits from all characters, but the majority of the video is this random old blind guy that you can encounter in the open world who basically like predicts your future based on your honor level and decisions you've made so far. And dude, this video depicts the game in such a beautiful fashion. Like there's so many moments where it's just like, damn, that was done so well. Like one of my favorites is whenever the old man is saying, it's just like, you know, the devil will make his sacrifice. And then whenever he says that, it shows the scene of Dutch abandoning Arthur at the oil refinery. It's just like, damn, dude, it's a very well put together video. Definitely go give it a watch. With that said, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. We did have that. We're going to run through some quick points, and then we're going to actually hit the points that me and Zach personally give a shit about. So first off, the Direct actually led off with Monster Hunter Rise. Shout out to the fact that Monster Hunter Rise is big enough and has sold well enough to the point where it can lead off a Nintendo Direct. That's actually very impressive. Rise is going to definitely be on its way to passing world sales numbers at some point, especially once Rise comes over to PC. But we did get it led off with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC coming in summer of 2022, which makes sense. I think that's when probably the PC version's coming out.
I feel like this is going to be vampire related. With the whole demographic, and then it's Sunbreak.
Yeah, the Sunbreak, the way the trailer looked and everything. Yeah, I can see that too. We did get the announcement for the last Smash character. It will be revealed.
Last.
It will be revealed on October 5th in the final Sakurai Presents for Smash Ultimate. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the last one. I don't. They have continued to market it as that. You know what I mean?
Can hope.
Yeah, can hope. But that does also bring question. What's Sakurai doing next? You know, guess we'll see. Now next month in October, Animal Crossing's New Horizons is getting its entirely own Direct. So
which I thought was very interesting.
I did too. There's free content coming in November. Shout out to that if you're a Animal Crossing New Horizons fan. We did get a new trailer for Mario Party Superstars that showed like Woody Woods, Yoshi's Tropical Island, Horror Island coming. Star Wars Knights of the Republic is coming 11/11. The Castlevania Advanced Collection that is now out. That is something
I do want to go back to the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is the original Knights of the Old Republic, not the remake that's coming out.
Yes, thank you. The Castlevania Advanced Collection that is now out. That's a game that we have talked about before being leaked on the ratings boards. ActRaiser Renaissance Remaster. That came out of fucking nowhere.
I had no idea what that game was.
I didn't either, but once I looked into it, I'm just like, damn, this is really random for them to do a remaster of this. But hey, it's out now. If you're a fan of that, hit it up. Project Triangle Strategy is now just called Triangle Strategy.
Still don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though. That's coming out March 4th of next year. That's a game that that is on my radar. I want to see more about it though. We did get an extended story trailer for Metroid Dread. Okay, we get it, Nintendo. We're going to buy Dread. We get it. All right, I will buy it.
All I got from that trailer was there's a bunch of robots that really want to grab Samus, and all I could think of is this the new Five Nights?
Oh no! Oh no!
Because it was just a bunch of robots chasing Samus around, wanting to grab her and do whatever they're gonna do.
We also had Voice of Cards, Isle Dragon Roars. That's a game that caught your eye, right?
Yeah, no, I actually quite like the theme of that and everything, but I also really like a bunch of those old weird sort of RPG style dungeon crawlers.
Gotcha. Dying Light 2 was announced for the Switch, but it will be a cloud version. It will be coming out on release of everything else. And Dying Light Platinum Edition is coming out next month in October 19th. And keep in mind, the Platinum Edition will be like normal game on a cartridge or in the eShop. Won't be a cloud version, but Dying Light 2 will be cloud version.
With all DLC from the original Dying Light, so.
Yep. We did get an update from Mario Golf, Koopa Trooper, and Ninjas, and as well as some new courses are coming to that. And that's all free update to my understanding.
And which, from my current, I got it, it's out now, released after the end of the Direct.
They love doing those shadow drops. It's one of their favorite things to do. Deltarune Chapter 2 is confirmed for the Switch. Chocobo GP and coming out next year. That's Final Fantasy.
Say that again.
Is it Chocobo?
There you go.
What did I say?
You said Chocobo.
Chocobo.
You said it really weird.
Oh, well, yeah, Chocobo.
I've always said it as Chocobo, so I can't even reproduce what you said.
Chocobo. I don't even know what I said. I'll go back and listen to it in the audio version. We'll get there. What is Chocobo?
Chocobo are the yellow birds that people ride around on. They're not in every Final Fantasy, but they're in a lot of the Final Fantasies.
Okay. Disco Elysium Final Cut coming out October 12th. Age of Calamity DLC coming out October 29th.
I didn't understand that DLC trailer. It didn't really.
I didn't show much.
It didn't show anything.
I was like, okay, what's this expansion supposed to be on? You're not selling me on the expansion. Granted, I haven't played the game. I'm such a great Zelda fan. I haven't played the game yet, but I mean, it's like you didn't sell me on the expansion. Like, what is it? What are you showing me? Shit, I don't know. But you know what I am going to get? I'm going to get me some Disney Magical World 2 coming out this holiday. Yep.
I didn't know that was a game.
I didn't know either. Shadowrun Trilogy coming out next year. Rune Factory 5. I believe we've already gotten the release date, but they further hammered, hey, March 22nd of next year it's coming out. And we did get a decent look at Splatoon 3 campaign. I've never really played a Splatoon game, but I'm going to give Splatoon 3. That's going to be my first one. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a legitimate shot.
It was a very good trailer. It showed off just the initial, some new weapons and things like that that's going to be in the game. And then the weirdness that was the campaign.
Right.
And whatever that's going to be.
I don't know. Like I said, I'll give Splatoon 3 a shot when it comes out next year. Speaking of coming out next year, all right, let's jump over to this meme. This meme that I am on board with. Let's get it. All right, so we did get a cast reveal for the Mario movie, which also, by the way, I think it's literally just called Mario.
I believe it is.
Yeah, just Mario, not Super Mario, nothing, just Mario. What a fucking cast, dude. This cast is a meme.
Every time they showed a new picture, I just went, what? I mean,
it's like, is this a fan fiction?
It literally, it's about probably almost even split on people who are down for this cast and then people who weren't. It was sort of funny. I saw a tweet from this morning from yesterday that was someone tweeting like, we bullied Sega into changing the Sonic visual effects. We can bully Mario to change the cast.
I love the cast, man. So this movie is set to come out holiday of next year. And the cast reveal was Chris Pratt as Mario. Okay. Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black as Bowser. Let's get it. Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. And Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Hey, I'm here for this cast. I think it's going to be stupid. I'm here for it.
That's not even the entire cast. Because they also had like Cranky Kong voice actor, Toad. They had a lot of voice actors because even some characters that really didn't make sense make me think this is more going to be a almost a Nintendo film universe rather than just Mario.
Yeah. The actual voice of Mario is also voicing side characters in this. I feel like that's a little bit of slap in the face to him. He's been voicing Mario for like 25 years, I think, and he's going to be in the movie as side characters. But I mean, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to hear Chris Pratt's Mario voice.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be weird for all these characters because these are all characters who, I mean, they've had voices, but it's all just been noises versus actual words. Because like even like remembering now, also like they have a voice actor for Kamek. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, Kamek was one. I mean, I'm personally here for this. I think it's just going to be a funny movie. I mean, you look at this cast. I see a comedic masterpiece. All right. I mean, I'm here for this. I'm going to see this day one, and we're going to talk about our movie TV podcast that's coming out in the near future. Shout out to that. But no, I mean, I'm here for this cast. I do acknowledge it's stupid. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm very aware of how stupid this cast seems at a first glance. But I think it is going to be a comedic masterpiece, and I'm here for it. I mean, I love the Sonic movie, if that fucking tells you anything. That's a good movie, though. I'll die on this hill. I will die on this hill that is a good fucking movie. Which also shout out to the fact that the Sonic movie Twitter retweeted the cast, whatever listing, for Mario, and Sonic's just like, "We'll see you at the Oscars." And I'm just like, "All right, let's go. We got a fight going on now."
That was literally my first thing I thought whenever this was announced and everything, and I was like, "God dang it!" I was like, with this release, there's now a possibility of a Sonic v Mario
at the Olympic Games
freaking movie now as a possibility. It's like, gosh, God dang it!
Now we can truly get the movie we always wanted to of Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, the movie.
Right.
Let's get it. Now, one thing that that was obviously not involved with this is like any possible castings for like Wario or Waluigi. For example, I saw a lot of people putting out there. It's like, yo, can we make Danny DeVito Wario?
The internet just wants Danny DeVito to be a voice actor in some sort of gaming or gaming film.
Yes.
First it was Pikachu, and now we want Wario.
The Pikachu one, okay, that's stupid. That was stupid, we all know. But Danny DeVito as Wario, that would be great. I would love that. I hope. I mean, obviously with this cast, really, I'm going to go ahead and safely assume Wario and Waluigi will not be in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is very disappointing. I would love to have those two asshats in the movie. That would make the movie 10 times better. But I mean, either way, I mean, I'm still pumped for this movie. I mean, the cast, like I said, looks like it's gonna be a comedic masterpiece. So I mean, I'm here for it. It's gonna be stupid, and I'm here. I'm all about stupid shit. Now, some stuff that was not stupid though. We did get a surprise announcement for a game that was actually leaked like an hour before the direct. And yo, dude, this game looks actually really legit.
It looks good.
Yeah, Kirby the Forgotten Land coming out in spring of next year. We're only a few months away from this, dude. Half a year. A full 3D adventure Kirby game. It looked awesome. Like, this is I've never been a massive Kirby fan. Like, Kirby 64 was fun. I enjoyed Air Ride. I think Air Ride was the GameCube game, whatever, the racing game. That wasn't bad. I haven't tried Star Allies on the Switch. I've never been a huge Kirby guy. 64 was the one I dumped a lot of time into with the Crystal Shards. Which we'll talk about here in a minute as well. But this Forgotten Land, dude, this is probably going to be like a day one pickup for me. This looks legit. And it also, it was nice to see because it's like, hey, Nintendo is taking a new approach to one of their franchise instead of just doing the same thing again. You know what I mean?
I mean, this was a big thing for me because I was just like, before we got Mario Odyssey, and now that's second person to get a 3D game is Kirby.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember the last Kirby game, like full Kirby game.
Shit, dude, I don't either because I don't know what Star Allies was. I forgot. Like, that seems like more like a multiplayer type of game.
I think the last one that I can think of now was the Cotton Kirby or Kirby
Yarn or
something. Because there was a Yoshi Yarn and then there was also a Kirby one from what I remember.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, I didn't really mess with that because that was on a 3DS, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm very happy to get a new Kirby game. I will definitely probably pick it up, and I don't use my Switch that much. But I mean, one of my favorite N64 games was the Kirby game on there, which was very fun.
Yeah, Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards, whatever. That was a great Kirby game. And like I said, it's really dope to see that they're taking this 3D adventure direction for Kirby. And it just kind of makes me think, like, since they're going at this new route for Kirby, will they try new routes for maybe some other IPs at some point?
I can only hope with so much success they had with Odyssey, and then
yeah.
I mean, I guess Luigi's Mansion is 3D technically,
Yeah.
but it's very closed.
It is.
Considering it's in a mansion.
Yeah. Or no, that one was a hotel.
Was it a hotel?
Yeah, that one was a hotel.
Well, mansion-esque.
Yeah, it's mansion-esque. Yeah. But I don't know. I hope that we're going to get to see them taking more chances with some titles, because I mean, I would still like to see them do something with Star Fox. It's not just the same copy paste. Like, you know, let's maybe try to do something like they did with Adventure. Adventure was a unique one-off that was a lot of fun, you know. And then when it came to Assault, it was a mix of a few things that Adventure did right and a mix of traditional Star Fox play. So you know, maybe do something like that. That'd be cool. Maybe one day something new with F-Zero. I know the big thing about F-Zero is that it need to be something unique and different enough to make it stand out from their other trademark racing game on Nintendo. Yeah. But I don't know. The point is, with them doing this approach for Kirby, I think it's a good approach for Kirby. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for Kirby, and I'm looking forward to seeing what could come out of this as well as other titles for Nintendo. But yeah, this is a day one pickup though. Day one pickup for me. It looks like a lot of fun. Where do you want to go next? Do you want to talk about Bayonetta, or do you want to, you know, and close out with Nintendo Switch? Talk about Bayonetta.
Yeah, let's go with Bayonetta.
All right. Well,
Bayonetta sounds good. I mean, this was something everyone was waiting for. You know it.
Yep.
I mean, we even reported a couple episodes ago of just Platinum going, we have it.
Yep.
But it's not our choice of when we get to say it.
Yep.
And then we get this Nintendo Direct, and it's just immediately skyline of a apocalyptic city, and just right there on a billboard. Platinum.
You know, I saw a lot of people sitting there saying, "Yo, is this Astral Chain 2?"
I mean, to be fair, I thought it was a possibility as well, just because I wasn't sure what was going on.
Neither was I.
Both have demons in it. I mean, it looked more the Bayonetta aesthetic, so I was leaning towards Bayonetta. But until she showed up to say some snarky one-liner about how she's going to had naughty boys and she's going to step on them, and
that's my waifu.
I was unsure. And then she rolled up with her sort of medium-length hair rolled up and everything, ready to throw down and summon bitches. Yeah,
fuck the spider. Can't play this game.
We were texting about this while it was going on, and Alex was going, well, I can no longer play it. And he was ahead of me for the first time ever. I was like, why? And I really thought about it. I was like, she summoned a spider, didn't she?
And then the next thing you know, the giant spider appears on his screen. He's just like, well, I mean, you don't have to summon the spider. I'm like, nope, can't play it. I'm good. No thanks. But I mean, this, of course, like Zach said, is something that we've been expecting for a while. I mean, this game was, if they wouldn't have revealed it here, and let's say they would have revealed it beginning of 2022, I think we would have gone like a solid literally 4 or 5 years from when the teaser was, where we literally just got the logo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was to be expected to finally see this game at some point. I can only assume that it is coming out next year. Did it show the release window at the end of the thing? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did.
But I would safely assume probably next year. They probably didn't show it because they do want to confirm that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bayonetta fans were popping off. Apparently, from what I've seen, the general consensus is that everyone was very happy with what they saw, because we did get to see gameplay.
Yeah,
which was a big thing.
It was a mix of cinematic and gameplay, and the gameplay looked solid. It looked fluid and everything.
Yeah, what you would expect out of Bayonetta.
Yeah. My funniest thing was when it went into the gameplay of her standing off against that demon thing. Just the very first thing, starts kicking this big old blob in the center of it. It's just like, it looks like she's just literally kicking in the nutsack.
That is something that she would do.
Yes.
But no, shout out to Bayonetta fans. I know you guys are eating good right now. But let's talk about Nintendo Switch Online, man, because this is an interesting convo. This is a very interesting convo, because it opens up a lot of doors. For what could come. Finally, we've been expecting this. We've been hoping for this. We've been talking about this for a while. They did give us an update for Nintendo Switch Online. It will be coming with a new paid tier called the Expansion Pack.
Yep.
Real original on your names, but I get it, because the Expansion Pack for the N64, because N64 will officially be added to Nintendo Switch Online sometime this year.
Yes.
But that's not all. Sega Genesis is going to be added to Nintendo Switch Online under the same expansion pack. I did think it was kind of interesting that the one that was being very heavily reported on of Game Boy and Game Boy Color was not.
Yeah, we got nothing on them.
Yeah, got nothing. No announcement at all. But instead they went with the N64, which if you're going to go with one or the other, obviously you'd want to show the N64 first.
64 was the better choice.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, it's got a pretty good list of games to kick things off for the N64. We have Mario 64, of course, which, again, this is why the year window for that 3D All-Stars made sense, because when we looked at it realistically, we thought, well, it's probably because they would like to add N64 to their Nintendo Switch Online at some point, which makes that game kind of lose value in their mind, because it has Mario 64 on it. But Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64. Hey, Zach, Yoshi's Story. You can maybe try to play the game and not kill every Yoshi now.
No, I'm going to kill every Yoshi.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Win Back Covert Operations, Dr. Mario 64, Sin and Punishment, Mario Tennis 64, Banjo Kazooie. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to Rare Nintendo kind of making up here. That's pretty hype. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario. That one I'm pumped for.
Yeah.
And F-Zero X. I'm just going to go ahead and be brutally honest. I don't have the list here for Sega Genesis because I really don't give a shit about that.
Oh, man.
Sonic 2 was on there. I mean, that was cool.
That was the funniest thing to me, because I know I joked a couple of shows ago about getting a Sega Genesis.
Yeah, you did. You did.
And then it popped up and went, well, I mean, I joked. It was funny, but now it's a thing. I was sort of just like,
shit. You made this happen. You threw that out into the universe, and now it's a thing. But no, with the N64 games, now there were 3 of them that is being added later, and that was Majora's Mask, Banjo-Kazooie, and I don't remember what the third one was. But 3 of them will not be immediately upon release, but be added later. But I mean, overall, that is a good list of 15 games from the N64 era to immediately be added. Obviously, from there, you would just safely hope for some others. Like, let's just take Rare for a second. Let's hope for Banjo-Tooie. Let's hope for Conker's Bad Fur Day. You know, I know there's going to be people that's going to be hoping for Jet Force Gemini, for example. Like,
I'm a hope for Donkey Kong 64.
Yes, Donkey Kong 64. Man, I've been itching to replay that one for a while, so that would be really hype. They did say as well that they're going to continue to add games to the NES and the Super NES, as well as this, of course. But they also did announce wireless Genesis controller and 64 controller are going to be launching at $50 a pop. Which is going to be kind of cool for the people that never played an N64. Yeah. I'm looking forward to them getting their hands on that controller.
My favorite thing was that day when after the Direct, I looked on Twitter. I loved this comment. One of the top replies to the whole Nintendo Direct and the 64 is like, someone just posted, "You can't force me to go back to this controller." Seeing as the 64 controller was very infamous for its very shoddy button setup. Yes,
that button setup was something else.
And it was a long Twitter thread of just people going, "We cannot go back. We cannot go back."
But man, dude, this is a big deal. You know, this is a big deal. We've talked about ad nauseum almost of like, will Nintendo introduce a new paid tier? Because $20 a year is a hell of a value. Let's be real. You get your online play, you get a bunch of NES games, Super NES games that obviously run unbelievable prices, as we reported on here with some of these bids reaching up like $1 million and shit. Yeah. Obviously just getting even used version of these games, they're tough. They are tough, man. Like, you go try to find a used version of like Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, and it's gonna be a shit ton of cash. I mean, it's tough to get a hold of. So getting this for $20, playing it digitally, it's a phenomenal value. And when it came to all these games being added, I know one thing someone's always wanted is like, where's a virtual console at? Well, my take on that is Nintendo's mindset is, I mean, hey, you can go buy it on the Wii U. It's there over there. And that's why we've never gotten a virtual console, is because it's on the Wii U. So in their mind, hey, it's shoppable. You can get it over there. And plus they're wanting to transition to like this subscription service, whatever. But it opens the door for more, because like we know Game Boy and Game Boy Color should be coming at some point. And then what's next? GameCube, Game Boy Advance, is that what's next? And then just keep introducing the paid tiers. They didn't announce a price. They did specify, hey, we're gonna give you the price later this year. Actually, in fact, I would anticipate probably next month we'll get a price on this. But I don't imagine it being like a huge price jump. Like what, $10 probably?
I would guess $10 because if they go any higher than that, I mean, I bet there are people that would buy it, but I feel like more than $10 seems a little extreme.
Like, I feel like $10 is going to be the increase for this. I feel like $10 is going to be the increase for like a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, whatever. But I feel like if we end up getting to a point where we introduce the GameCube and we introduce the Game Boy Advance, that's when I might bet like a $20 increase, for example. Because I mean, you think about it, we do two $10 increases, brings you up to $40. Then you do that 20, brings you up to 60, which is about the price of everything else.
I feel like if they do that, we're looking sort of how PlayStation has, they have their PlayStation Now,
Yep.
which has their old catalog like PlayStation to PS3 era games, and I feel like Nintendo may be swinging that same direction with all their old consoles putting on virtual.
They definitely need to, man, because these games obviously are just becoming more and more difficult to get. Most notably, all games of old are difficult to get, but there are some other consoles and stuff that aren't nearly as difficult. It's fucking Nintendo is tough. And I don't mean to disrespect other consoles in their past, but Nintendo games are tough to get a hold of. I mean, I'm an avid GameCube fan. I'm an avid GameCube collector. Jesus, those games are tough to get. So that's why I'm going to hope and pray that sometime we will get GameCube, because, you know, GameCube just passed its 20th anniversary. Mm-hmm. So in Nintendo's mind, they're probably thinking, oh, well, you know, probably getting kind of close for us to maybe start to put these games in a service like this. Or maybe I can finally play Path of Radiance and not spend $250 to buy the damn game for it. I still want to play that.
I mean, my thing is, whenever I do traveling, if I see a local game shop, I always go in.
Yep.
Because I always find tons of stuff. Like one of our local game shops that around here, I found a original NES Final Fantasy cartridge. Pick that sucker up for $30.
Oh, that's a deal. That's a deal. Yes, always go to your local game stores, 100%. No matter what it is. I know Game Exchange can kind of be overpricey on some things, but still go in there because you can find some gems, 100%.
And like another one that's a local shop that we had, which is unfortunately closed now, I picked up an original copy of PlayStation's Legend of the Dragoon.
Ooh, shout out to that.
Which
a lot of people want to remake of that so bad.
Yeah, they do. And I ended up getting that for... The dude had literally just got it in because I literally walked in and was like, you got any classic PlayStation games? And he went, well, I just got this Legend of Dragoon. I was like, how much? He was just like, let me look it up. He looked up prices and went, I'll sell it to you for $40. I was like, done.
Easy.
Got that in original Chrono Trigger for $60. So
yeah, it's like that time that I think I mentioned here on this podcast. There was at a local Game Exchange for us. They got a tournament copy of Donkey Kong Country, for the Super Nintendo, and this Game Exchange literally begged this guy not to sell it to them. Like, yo, you can make so much more money selling this on eBay. But the guy's like, no, man, I really need the money, like right this second. So always go to your local game stores. You never know what you can find. But I'm with you when it comes to local game stores. Like for me personally, the first area I always immediately go to GameCube. Every time, it never fails. Like, all right, let's go see what they have for GameCube. Let's see if they have any gems. And usually it's all the same bullshit, like Spider-Man and Cars and all the generic stuff. Yeah. But you always go there to try to find the Nintendo IPs. Like, all right, what do they have? Ooh, they have this. They have the Zelda Collector's Edition. Ooh, that's pretty. I mean, I already have it, but it's like, ooh, that's a good little find here for someone, So as we continue to move forward, I'm going to hope that they bring in more paid tiers, because I personally do see them bringing in a Nintendo GameCube paid tier, because before the Wii U came out, unfortunately, the GameCube was their worst selling console of all time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because the GameCube, out of all eras of Nintendo, in my opinion, with where we are currently, I would say the Switch has probably now taken the crown as the top Nintendo console of their Nintendo IPs.
Easily.
GameCube is easily number 2. In my mind, I will fight and die on this hill. GameCube is number 2 of all their generations. So, and Nintendo knows that, because it's kind of the same thing where they know for the Wii U, they know they had good games, but no one played it because no one bought a Wii U. You had 13 million units sold, which, million, still a lot. But then you look at the Switch, it sold like what? How many now? Like almost 300 million, the last we reported.
Yeah.
So, Nintendo realizes, hey, yeah, GameCube's held in high regard. It's got a lot of great games. It only sold I think GameCube only sold like 20 million units, which is, again, low.
It's extremely low.
Yeah, it may be more than 20 million, but I know it was their lowest before the Wii U. So that's why I'm going to hope for this new, like another paid tier for GameCube games. Plus, it'll help me play some games that, like, let's say I can't get a hold of, like Path of Radiance. I would fucking love for that to be one of the first ones they added. Bless you, by the way. But when it comes to this new paid tier with N64 and the Sega Genesis, which I don't really care about the Sega Genesis. That is what it is. I'll still dabble in probably some Sonic 2 because I love Sonic games. But this is like, as soon as this comes out, I'm getting it. Like, I mean, I'm assuming it'll probably be a $10 upgrade, but I'm getting this immediately because I want to play Paper Mario. I would like to play some Banjo-Kazooie. I'm always down for that one, even though I do prefer Tooie. And I'll probably hop in some Star Fox 64 and maybe some Kirby 64 too. Paper Mario will probably be the first one I play though. Unless it was the one that was being added later. I cannot remember the third game that was being added later.
I think it might have been Paper Mario because that was sort of one of the last ones they showed.
Yeah, it probably was. That I also know I saw for Nintendo of Japan, Pokemon Snap was supposed to be on that list. So I think
Pokemon Snap was in there too.
Okay, yeah. So Pokemon Snap's being added. Shout out to that. Good flashback there. But no, I mean, I'm pumped for this. Like I said, I'm getting it pretty much immediately. Are you going to pick this up pretty quickly so you can go? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. And you don't want to play Yoshi Story and go kill the Yoshis or go play Kirby 64?
I mean, that's not a concern for me. I'll be tied down to Back 4 Blood.
Okay, well, that's fair. So basically, this is something you can get later on.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. That's fair.
I'm going to be messing with Back 4 Blood, and then probably by the time that comes out, I will more than likely be doing my first run through of Gen 4 and Brilliant Diamond.
That's totally fair. You got some other big games on the slate right now. And, and that is a good point. I say I'm going to get this immediately, but realistically, I probably won't get it till January because January is when my Nintendo Switch Online runs up.
You sure? You sure January?
Yeah.
When Pokemon Legends is going to come out?
Well, I mean, yes, I'm sure because that's when my subscription is renewed anyway. You know what I mean? So just go ahead and upgrade it. Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and upgrade it. I mean, it's renewed in January.
I'm going to save money and get Legends.
I mean, if it's like a $10 upgrade, I'll be all right. But yeah, Legends isn't fucking going to be super hype. But I mean, overall, for the Direct, I'd give it probably like a B. I mean, it was a solid Direct.
It was a solid Direct. I mean, it showed off quite a bit. I mean, we got a lot of announcements out of it. Some sort of wonky. Others sort of nice. And other things just, okay, we sort of knew, but thanks. Yeah,
true. Hey, when does Back 4 Blood come out again?
October 12th.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty close.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that when it comes out. I think John's buying it day one too, right?
Yep, I already have it pre-ordered, so.
Okay, we'll have to get John on the show for that week as well and get his thoughts on everything. And then I've got Dread coming out in literally 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's real soon.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I did put in my pre-order for Guardians of the Galaxy and Pokemon. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Got those pre-orders in.
I'm really looking forward to that Guardians of the Galaxy now because I'm seeing a lot more reports of people who've gotten hands on it who are been saying the combat feels actually very good.
Yep, I'm pretty pumped for that game. I did pre-order the collector's edition. I personally saw no reason not to because it was literally just $10 more. If I was going to spend $70 on the base PS5 game, let me go ahead and spend $80, get a steelbook, get the original soundtrack and everything. Yeah, sure. That's a good deal in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now if it would have crossed the 100 mark, that's when I would have been a little iffy because I'm very gun shy about special editions. I'm very gun shy. Most special editions I've ever bought has backfired in my face horribly. In fact, the last special edition I bought, I want to say, was probably Jump Force.
That's unfortunate.
I know. And even before Jump Force, I had some misses on special editions. So once Jump Force happened, it's just like, I've become very gun shy on special editions. But yeah, for $10 more, pick that up. I did also pick up the double pack for the Shining Pearl, whatever. So I get the steel. I think it's like steelbook. I get a special notebook for it because I got mine at Target. I noticed that each store had their own bonus. You get one had a coin, one had a steelbook. In Target's case, I get a little notebook or whatever. But got that double pack in, got Guardians in. Super pumped to play Guardians. So that's at October 25th, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, my special editions thing is literally because of how far we're moving closer to the digital age.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, GameStop's more than likely going to eventually close just about all their stores.
Yeah, GameStop's going to go under at some point.
Yeah, which is unfortunate to say just because we've grown up with GameStop. GameStop's always been a great spot to go buy games. But because of that, for my special editions, I always get them at a nice regular price. Because I walk into a GameStop, grab a case, and they go, all right, I got to pull some stuff out. And hand me a bunch of crap. I'm just like, what'd I buy?
Right.
I don't know how many times I've had that happen to me, especially with PlayStation games. I'll just grab the case off the shelf, I'll bring it up, and I'm like, okay. And then when I'm turning around and looking at stuff, I turn back around. There's a CD, there's a statue, there's a booklet, there's a still case, and I just look at the guy who's like, what are you doing to me, man?
Yeah. I will say in terms of GameStop closing, I do know someone who actually worked at GameStop as like an upper management, not a store manager. I'm talking upper management at GameStop. And he left GameStop because he very much saw the writing on the walls that they were probably not going to last much longer.
Yeah.
Not obviously going to name who or how I know them or anything, but I legitimately do know someone that was like upper management at GameStop, and they said they just know the writing. They saw the writing on the walls, and they got the fuck out because they didn't want to be jobless.
Yeah.
So that is so unfortunate, dude. Because I mean, like around the area that we live, like we already lost one really cool game store, overpriced but cool store.
Yeah.
Being Hastings. Hastings was in like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, I think one other state, whatever. Super cool store, man. They had movies, books, games, everything. It was a cool place to go buy some shit, even though they were overpriced. Let's be real. But we lost that. GameStop's potentially on its way out. I mean, we are moving to that digital age. And then you look at like Best Buy is a great example when it comes to like, you know, how much we've declined in the gaming, you know, physical gaming industry. Because Best Buy used to have like massive gaming departments, and now it's small.
They used to have just big old displays of it and everything.
Yeah, and now it's just a small little area. And that's unfortunate, man. I hope we don't permanently lose game stores, but I do feel like it's coming.
I feel like, unfortunately, it is going to be a thing that was going to be of the past. Maybe they last another decade. Maybe. Yeah,
maybe. And, you know, when it comes to this and stores closing, I don't think every store is going to close unless this company literally goes bankrupt, because they're still going to have online sales. I mean, that's going to be fine. But a majority of stores, like if it's, they're going to be, I feel like a lot more strict on that chopping block, where it's like, if you're not at this number, you're gone, period. We're not going to waste money on a building that's just not going to stay open. They're going to continue to invest in like the ones that actually make cash. Because I know one that's not too far away from us we have a massive GameStop near us, about 40 minutes away. Super cool GameStop, and it's always racking in cash. So that's one that would constantly remain. But like the one local to us, like that's 5 minutes away.
Yeah,
that one could get on the chopping block at some point.
One's probably pretty rough.
Yeah, so I mean that's just the unfortunate age that we're in, but it is what it is. But I think we've talked long enough on this, so I think we're ready to go ahead and get out of here. Not a bad episode. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed shooting shit. Zach, you got any last thoughts before we get out of here?
All I really got to say is like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you are watching on the YouTube and you like what's going on, you can hit the subscribe button. If you really like what's going on, you can then hit the bell, and it'll let you know anytime we post any video, clip, or anything that just goes up that we might think is interesting. I don't know. And you can do that at youtube.com/Sparky3.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you guys had a good time hanging out with us. If you didn't, well, I'm sorry. We'll do better next time, I guess. We'll try harder. I got nothing else. Do everything that he said and more. See you next time, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.